It's perfect.
Start to warm up a little bit, we hope. Of course, when you get to fishing into October, you got to expect a little chilly weather. I guess we can live with it. You know, Johnny, when I started traveling around the country teaching the structure fishing schools about 25 years ago, I guess now it's been, one of the things that I really had trouble with convincing the fishermen was the importance of deep water, the deep water tendencies of a fish. But over the years, there's been this transition now, and people, I think today, at least most of the serious fishermen I know today, do in fact understand the importance of deep water, and they're fishing deep structure and so on and so forth. It's just something that's come about with the evolution of modern day fishing. Guys are starting to fish deeper and catch more fish, but sometimes the fishermen get the wrong idea that I only fish deep. And of course that's not the case. I said about three months ago when we first met at the clinic that when we come to a lake, we have to approach it with one thought in mind, and that is fish are somewhere in the lake. They're shallows, deep, somewhere in between. So if you and I want to do a thorough job of trying to go about our fishing in a way that we're going to end up locating the fish, we have to fish all of that water, beginning shallow, working the in-between water, and then going deep if we have to. So again, I say a lot of people are missing out, I think, today, especially the guys that call themselves structure fishermen, by not thoroughly fishing the shallows. First, you got to check the shallows before you move on. That's what we're doing here today on these structures. And as you saw, every now and then, you may only catch 2 or 3 fish, but one of them happened to be 23-pound fish.
What you got there, partner? Like the same fish you had, almost. Little, you know, that's in that range.
Over here.
Isn't that range of 20
that's
pounds?
A hog, man. What are you talking about?
That
is a big fish.
Do what with it? What do you want me to do?
That is a big fish. I'm gonna get the net on this one, partner.
She's running.
This is that walleye net from this morning.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Look at her go. Look at her go. Look at her go.
Where's your big net, partner?
It's back on the dock. Usually where the big net's supposed to be when you nail into an 18 or a 20.
Oh man, that fish is every bit of 20 pounds.
There she goes again. This is the 4th run this fish has made.
Now this is the walleye net though. I'm not sure we can get that fish in here. I may be better off grabbing her.
I can hand grab her, yeah. You can.
You better worry about landing that fish. Stay tighter. I picked the troll motor up so we can just drift on down in case she wants to go around the front.
I lost sight of her here now with the weeds on there. There she be.
We might be able to net her. Let's try her.
There she be.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a hog. How big is that fish?
Woo!
That is a fat hog.
You got you a good one there, partner. That's up pushing 20 pounds for sure. That was a great fish, partner. Let's just see how good she is.
Get out of here. Doc, she's over 18, buddy. Guarantee it.
Oh. Gee whiz, John, why don't you hold that 23-pounder up?
It is, ain't it?
That is a beautiful northern pike. What's it say?
Well, it ain't, on this scale, it ain't quite 23. 22 and a half, maybe?
22 in that range. That's a beautiful fish. Let's face it, there's not too many of those caught.
Hogs caught.
That is a big one. And she gave you a good tussle.
Although, Don, you know, the thing about the shallows that you've taught me is that you just don't haphazardly go around and fish shallow water. You know, you've taught me, just like I just caught that big hog northern, by fishing the shallow water that is connected to the deep water structure is the key. So we aren't just jumping around. I don't now, finally, I used to fish all the shallow water naturally, and now I can go to a lake and go to the shallow water that's connected to the deep water and have, if there's some straggler fish around, have a good chance of catching myself a big fish.
Well, I think probably the way you said that, John, is one of the problems that we have. I think in the fishermen getting the point. We're talking about fishing shallow water, fishing deep water. And what we should be talking about is fishing structure. I don't like to talk so much about fishing certain sections of water, because our real guide as to where the fish are going to be is structure. So if we're going to check an area in the shallows, still our guide is structure. So we're going to fish structure, shallow, deep, and in between. So again, structure is our guide, and where we caught that fish, where you caught your big fish, we are simply working an underwater hump. Actually is what it is. It could be referred to as a reef because they have a little bit of grass sticking out right above the surface. But really what it is a big underwater hump that breaks off into extremely deep water, into about 60 feet of water, and it's an ideal structure. But before I can say I fished that structure thoroughly, I've got to be able to get in there, check the shallows, and if I don't find fish, then I move down to the in-between water and eventually fish it deep. But the main reason that we're there, of course, is structure.